With just a wrench, a sharp wit, and a lot of information about old bikes, Sam Lovegrove became the heart of Shed and Buried over the course of many years. People watched to see him and Henry Cole find secret gems, bring old favorites back to life, and joke around like brothers. But Sam went in the middle of season 4. Nothing to say, no goodbye scene, nothing, just silence. Question came with the quiet. Where did he go? Why did he go? There were theories, but no answers, because fans didn't know the whole story of Sam. His workshop in Cornwall isn't just full of tools and old engines when the doors are shut. There is a secret that needs to be solved. Anyone who likes old bikes knows Sam Lovegrove's name. His keen eye, hands-on building skills, and deep love for giving old bikes new life make him stand out. A lot of people know him from shows like Find It, Fix It, Drive It and Shed and Buried, where he brings old machines back to life with just a few tools and a lot of know-how. But Sam's story began long before the cameras and fans. It was based on his interest, determination, and a lifelong love of machines. As a child in England's West Country, Sam was always that kid. He was elbow-deep in engine parts in the shed while other kids were outside kicking a ball. He was trying to figure out what made things work. At first, that natural interest in all things mechanical didn't come from school. He first taught himself how to take bikes apart and put them back together piece by piece until they ran again. Some parts of school were easy for me, like the math. He was good at math and physics, and he finally used those smarts to go to Oxford Brookes University and study mechanical engineering. He didn't just get by. That made him stand out was that he had both great academic skills and a lot of experience in the real world. Sam was already making old bikes run again when most people were still trying to decide what they wanted to do. He wasn't just improving things. He was also preserving historical artifacts. People heard about it. People saw how hard he worked and how skilled he was, and soon doors started opening for him. But becoming a TV star wasn't really in the plans. Sam Lovegrove began his career in a much more hands-on way. As a design engineer at Gemini Accident Repair Centers Limited, his main goal back then, just making sure the engines work right, tweaking the suspensions and gearboxes of a variety of cars. It wasn't just garage work though. It was very smart tech. This was the kind of work that quietly set the stage for everything that would happen next in his life. He moved on to something a little more exciting when he became a development engineer for Honda Performance Development after Gemini. At that point things got really hot. He worked on some really cool cars, like the sleek Honda NSX and the mean Corvette C7R Le Mans cars. But that wasn't all he did. Big names like Aston Martin, Jaguar, and Lotus hired Sam as a consultant engineer to help them with their work. He wasn't just good at that point. He was becoming one of those legendary people in the world of high-performance cars who worked behind the scenes. Then there was a twist. Sam ran into Henry Cole somewhere along the way. He wasn't just another motorbike guy though. His job as a TV host was to change how people thought about motorcycles, because he loved riding them so much. He had a strange charm, a bit of a rebellious streak, and a big heart for old bikes. Henry knew this expert was more than just skilled. As soon as he met Sam, he was present. There was something about the way Sam talked about things that made even the most complicated mechanical things seem easy to understand. Sam was on TV for the first time when he went on a motorcycle show with Henry. It worked perfectly. People immediately felt close to him. He was just being himself, smart, calm and clearly madly in love with what they do. In that way the motorcycle show came to life, with a vibe that made it more than just another bike show. Fans of motorcycles loved the show right away. There were intense races, tributes to famous motorcycles, fun conversations, and road trips that you'll never forget. But what made it stand out was how real it seemed. Sam's knowledge, and Henry's strong desire to make the show better gave it a life. It wasn't just about bikes, it was also about the history, story and bond that people have with these tools. In the first show of the second season, Henry got to ride the very rare Bro Superior Super Sports. Later he took on the infamous Yellow Peril, a 1960 Norton Commando production racer, that put his skills to the test like never before. By season 7, it was a great treat for fans to see Henry and Sam bring a classic WLC Harley back to life. In episodes 3 and 4, the famous Enfield Bullet also made a comeback. Sam was good at it. As long as the job was messy and technical, the kind that left your hands black with grease, he could explain it in a way that made sense. He gained respect and a real following, because he was honest and down to earth. The motorcycle show was a big hit, and what came next was possible because of it. Put away and buried. A great trove of long-forgotten cars is hidden away in old sheds and barns all over the UK, ready to be brought back to life. Also, Henry Cole and Sam Lovegrove have made it their goal to do just that. One dusty shed at a time, these two are going to find and fix up the country's mechanical past. They will be working on everything from old motorcycles and cars to rusty tractors, and even boats. If they can sell these finds for a little extra cash along the way, that would be even better. People in Britain are known for being strange, and you can find a lot of them working on things in their backyards. That's where Henry and Sam belong. Henry is a biker at heart, and has a good sense of a good deal. He adds charm and energy to the hunt. Sam, who is very good with machines, can make almost anything with an engine run again. They are a great team together. One makes deals, and the other fixes things, but their adventures don't always go the way they plan. Henry's eagerness to talk quickly gets them into a lot of trouble. There have been times when he bought a car before Sam had a chance to really look it over. Sam, on the other hand, often gets sidetracked by tools he wants for himself, which can throw them off track. Watching them interact, joke around and sometimes fight is more fun because of it. One moment that stands out is when they went to Leicester to see Eddie Roberts' collection. A rare 1962 Greaves Hunter was the center of attention. It was sold for a lot less than what it was worth. Sam wouldn't have it. He pointed out the problems right away, and wouldn't pay too much. The discussion that was caught on camera became one of the best parts of the 2016 season. Some viewers thought they were being cheap, but Sam stood his ground, and said he was just guarding the real value of old machines. That risky move made people pay more attention to the show. After some time, they found a shed in Cornwall that was full of old broken farm equipment. It was hard to see, but there was a Ferguson TE20 tractor buried in the mess. Sam saw the opportunity right away. He took it apart piece by piece, put it back together from scratch, and made it a beautiful machine that runs smoothly. That they weren't just entertainers was shown by the fact that it sold for a good price at auction. They were very good at fixing things up, and knew how to make rust look like gold. Northern Ireland had another moment that stood out. They found a group of military vehicles, on a quiet farm, hidden under hay and forgotten by time. One of the vehicles was a Land Rover, that had been in real combat. Sam knew right away that it was important for history. He oversaw the repair, and made sure that the original parts were kept safe. It went for a lot of money when it was finally sold to a collector. Not everyone was glad though. The farmer who had held it said that the two were lying about how much it was worth to get a deal. Henry talked about the problem in the news, but Sam didn't say anything. He let his work speak for itself. There were more and more fans as the show got better. People liked how Henry and Sam seemed to get along with each other. Henry's charm, and Sam's unwavering understanding, and straightforward attitude. A lot of people liked Shed and Buried, because of the cool finds, and the friendships and fights that happened in the story. One person who stood out was Sam. With his humble no-nonsense attitude, and real love for fixing up old bikes, he quickly became a fan favorite. He wasn't something else on TV. In the world of restoring old cars, people came to know and trust his name. Sam didn't slow down after Shed and Buried took off. Along with his loyal partner, Henry Cole, he kept the momentum going. They made another hit show together, called Find It, Fix It, Drive It. This time, their love for old machines went even deeper, and they turned forgotten relics into classics that could be driven on the road. Watching each show was like going on a wild road trip with two old friends. Find a car that has been forgotten, fix it up, and test it in a crazy way. It began the same way every time. They would travel across the country and look through barns, garages, and sheds to find the right old thing to fix up. As soon as they got their hands on something good, the timer began to run. Sam would take care of all the scientific stuff behind the scenes, while Henry used his large network of experts to bring the project together. But the best parts were at the end of each show. That's when they took their brand new car for its big moment, which was usually a challenge that tried more than just horsepower. You could be participating in a plowing contest with an old tractor, restoring a famous 1970s motorcycle for a big custom show, or speeding around Brooklands Old Bank track in a classic race car. Each finale felt like a celebration of history, hard work, and heart. It wasn't just the grease and gears that made the show stand out, it was even more than that. Sam had a lot of experience with mechanics, and Henry had a lot of energy, and a great way of telling stories. They made a simple repair show into something more when they worked together. A story about friendship, excitement, and bringing old machines back to life. That's what made people keep coming back. But just as things were getting used to each other, the flow broke. Fans of Shed and Buried couldn't help but notice that something wasn't right in the second part of the fourth season. There was no sign of Sam Lovegrove. Not long after, people began to ask questions. Why wasn't he there? Had he really left? There weren't many hints in the show, so the puzzle got bigger. Henry Cole then came along in March 2022, and gave things a little more up to date. He shared a video, in which he said that Sam had been sick with some kind of bug, which was the main reason he wasn't there. But besides that, not much else was known. No one knew if Sam was just taking a short break or leaving the show for good. There was one thing that didn't change when Sam wasn't on the show: his bond with Henry. Henry went to Cornwall in November 2022, to see an old friend. There was a lot of talking, laughing, and working on Sam's new projects with old cars. It was even filmed, and shared with fans, giving everyone a look at Sam's life that wasn't shown on TV. He may have taken a break from the show, but that movie made it clear that his love for old machines, and his friendship with Henry, were still strong. Samantha Lovegrove is mostly known for his work on TV, but that's not all he does. Away from the cameras, he's quietly become known as a major force in motorcycle tech, especially for his work with the famous British brand Bruce Superior. And this isn't any old motorbike business. Some of the most exclusive high-performance bikes in the world are made by Bruce Superior. And Sam? He's been in the middle of everything. Sam took over as lead engineer when Bruce Superior was brought back to life in 2013. The company had been shut down from 1999 to 1999. He wasn't just putting bikes together, he was helping to recreate a history and bring the spirit of the old machines into the present day. Sam was very important because he worked closely with Mark Upham, the owner of the company, and the rest of the team, in making custom bikes that lived up to the legendary status of the name. Not only were these bikes beautiful, they also worked well, and worked hard. Let's look at the Bruce Superior 11 FCC. This beast jumped into the 1350 APS VF class, and made a lot of noise right away. It clocked in at 110.4 MP on the first run, and 116.8827 PR on the return, for an average of 113.668 MPR. That broke the old AMA record. Late in the week, the bike went into a different class, the 1350 AVF, and it flew after some fine-tuning and streamlining changes. 122.61 miles per hour on the first run. Second, 126.075 miles per hour. The final speed was 124.3334 miles per hour. It's another AMA record. It turned out that the last motorcycle pass of the whole race was that last run, cut short by a sudden rainstorm that made everyone run for cover. Eric Patterson, the rider, and Alistair Gibson, the team's head engineer, were both very happy. What made it all the more impressive, that engine was smaller than what was allowed for its class. The real star of the show, though, was a bike called the Baby Pendine. It was a 700cc bike that Sam himself had prepared and tuned. This one was not only quick, it broke the record. The Baby Pendine set 2 FM world records and 2 AMA records while it was on the Salt. It was ridden by the famous motorbike journalist Alan Cathcart. The first run, which went 97.60 miles per hour, was more of a test, but on the return, Alan opened it up and hit 105.004 miles per hour, which is an average of 101.322 knots, and set a new record. Next was Henry Cole, a TV host who used to race horses. He also put his hat in the ring for the Baby Pendine. He had never raced on the Salt Flats before, but he did it like he had done it all his life. He beat a strong crosswind and a risky tank slapper to record 104.298 kph in the flying kilometer, and 103.941 p in the flying mile, which is an AMA record for the 750 AVF class. It was even better for Henry and Sam, because Henry had to wait in line for almost 3 hours to get his shot. The weather got worse as the day went on. The wind changed, but the Salt Flats stayed the same. There wasn't much time. They just barely made it to the starting line, and had to get Henry's bike checked out. Sam wasn't just watching though. During the whole process, he tested, checked, and made sure that each bike met the high standards for safety and dependability. He became known as a master craftsman in the world of motorbike restoration and design, thanks to the work he did on machines like the Bruce Superior SS100. As much as Sam Lovegrove has been on TV, and is well known in the motorcycle scene, he likes to stay out of sight when the cameras aren't running. His life is quiet, when he's not in the spotlight. He lives in a farmhouse with his wife and 4 children in the woods of Cornwall. It's not just a quiet place to live, it's also where he keeps his huge workshop full of old cars, which is both a safe place for him, and a place where he can play with his lifelong hobby. Sam spends most of his time with his family, or working on restoration projects, when he's not shooting, the kind he does just because he loves it. He has a strong bond with machines and motorbikes. He's not just doing this job, it's always been a part of who he is. Having to work with your hands, and being interested in how things work, it's what keeps him going every day. Even though Sam doesn't appear as often on Shed and Buried shows as he used to, he is still important. Among people who like old cars, he has a lot of respect both on and off TV, because of how good an engineer he is, and how laid back he is on screen. He will continue to be a major figure in the car and motorbike scene, even if he doesn't come back to TV anytime soon. Before, Sam was a guy who liked to mess around with bikes. Now he's a well-known and respected mechanic. He's famous not only for his skills, but also for being honest, loving what he does, and being able to make old tools work again. His impact is still felt, even though he's not the main character on screen right now. Tons of fans, gearheads, and other restorers around the world are still inspired by Sam Lovegrove's story. He built his business on skill, love for the job, and staying true to himself.